Janelle here with Sheep Hill Herbs. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be cooking. And what I'm making today is a gluten-free challah bread. So challah bread is a really delicious bread, typically made on a Friday night by people of the Jewish religion, and has honey and eggs, and it's like very fluffy and flavorful. I have a friend who makes challah bread, and I have not been able to eat it being gluten-free. And so I have made on and off our own version of challah bread. I'm going to share that with you today. It's a delicious bread. I'm not going to braid it. It's too hard. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have partially braided before. It's harder without the gluten. Gluten makes things stretchy. So gluten is that gooey stretchiness in wheat which people are allergic to or have sensitivities to. And old wheat, the older version like spelt or einkorn, had much less gluten, like the original wheat. And it was modified over years to what is modern wheat with all this gluten, which is hard for many people to digest properly. Also, the way that grains and breads are prepared is much different than the old way, which involved soaking and sprouting and fermenting and many different steps. But it's expensive to buy good gluten-free bread, and I felt like it. I felt like making some today, so I'm going to show you how to do it. If you could all like, subscribe, hit the bell button, comment, check out my description down below, which has my link tree, which links to everything that is me. Check out that description. All my links to outside sources are my affiliate links. Anything else is my own personal program that I offer, like my home herbalist course. You can contact me by my contact button for my website, and then ask to be added to my newsletter. And I will see you on the other side. Thanks. All right, I want to show you the ingredients that I'm using right now. I am using Bob's Red Mill Paleo baking flour, which has almond flour, arrowroot starch, coconut, and tapioca. I'm going to use a little of that. I'm going to use buckwheat, which is not wheat. And buckwheat has like no gluten whatsoever. It is not gooey. I need to make a gooiness. That's why I have the tapioca flour and then the arrowroot that's in the paleo blend, because we're trying to mimic gluten with these gluten-free blends. I also have my duck eggs from my own ducks. I need about a half a cup of honey. I think that's enough. Sea salt. I want to use some poppy seeds. I need vegetable oil, so I'm going to use olive oil. And some apple cider vinegar. Oh, and my packet of yeast. Where did that go? So the first thing I'm going to do is activate my yeast. So into the bowl, I am doubling this recipe. I did 2.5 cups of water, 1 packet of active dry yeast, and a cup of honey. And you can see the little bubbling and globbing together of the yeast as it's eating the honey and working to activate. So the temperature should not be over 110 degrees, and it should be about 95, between there, 95 and 110. You can use a thermometer, or if you cook a lot, no temperature feel, you can do it that way. But if it's too cold, it won't activate. If it's too hot, the yeast will die. Okay, so doubling this flour batter, I'm using 2 cups of the Paleo baking flour, Bob's Red Mill, 1 cup of Bob's Red Mill buckwheat, and 1 cup of Bob's Red Mill tapioca. And I'm going to have a link down below in the description for Thrive Market, which is a great online health food store. Really good deals. And if you use my link, you get a discount on your first purchase, and it'll give you those details when you link to Thrive Market. I added 2 teaspoons sea salt right there. Okay, I need 4. I just realized because I'm doubling. So I'm going to put 4. I wanted to show you the yeast as it's fully activated now. And it's all puffed up. Added 4 duck eggs. Duck eggs are good for baking and they're large. Have a lot of nutrients. They're from our ducks. Half a cup of olive oil or vegetable oil. 2 teaspoons apple cider vinegar went in, and you can use whatever seasonings you want. I want to use poppy seeds. And I'm just sprinkling liberally.
But they look like sprinkles.
They do. So let's stir this. Then we're going to add the yeast and mix it all together. All right. Presently, the bread dough is rising in the bowl. It does not mix typical bread dough. It's more of a stir batter. And I'm sorry, I don't have that pictured. I had to add more flour. I added more coconut, more buckwheat. And I kept stirring until it was more of a doughy consistency. But I didn't have to knead it like you do bread dough, because you do not need non-gluten bread. It doesn't get that rising because of kneading. So then it's sitting here on my stove where it's warm, and I'm letting it rise. And again, like, it will not rise as high as gluten bread, but I'm gonna let it rise probably an hour. They lost.
This is the yummy bread. It's all finished.
Yeah.
And it was eaten before I could record, but it was really, really good. Not as high as I would have liked, but it makes a really good bread with garlic.